The Ghana-based human rights group is rescuing girls who have been imprisoned or disappeared due to witch hunts. In particular, witch hunts often occur in rural areas where illiteracy is high. Usually, when something bad happens in the village, people think it's because of a witch. And the villagers point to one of the town's members as a witch and force the person to become homebound. This is called a witch hunt. Tamari, north of Ghana. This is the place where many witch hunts occur in Africa, and there is a camp where witches live. It is known as a village where witches live, but in reality, it looks like an ordinary country village. This place has become a witch camp, a place where people who were expelled from their homes after being branded as witches by their neighbors. Most of the women who look normal, but have been called witches, have become victims of witch hunts on charges of killing someone. She was judged a witch by a shaman for cursing her neighbor. And the witch hunt for her began. People took away her property and began to assault her. Eventually, she had to flee the town to stay alive. There are hundreds of people living in the witch camp, which is centered in Tamale. Once you enter the witch camp, you can avoid the punishment of the villagers, but you're isolated from the outside world and are destined for a poor and miserable life. They want to go back to their hometowns and families where they have lived their entire lives, but it's impossible. The witch hunts conducted by the villages all have something in common. Illegal migrants across borders, old people, young girls, vulnerable people who don't have the power to protect themselves are the target of witches. Fortunately, due to the efforts of human rights groups, the damage from witch hunts have been reduced every year. Education is working to prevent violence, helping people to realize that witch hunting is a crime. This helps to ensure that the problems between villagers and inhumane witch hunts will eventually disappear.
They're a way of talking about social conflict. They're a way of talking about tensions between people and a way of dealing with conflict and jealousy. No culture deals with jealousy and conflict very well. It can go, to violence. And in this sense, witchcraft is perhaps one way of dealing with it, allowing people to understand evil or tension and anger in a cultural way, which is not necessarily bad. Where it leads to violence, of course, any conflict can lead to violence. And the idea that witchcraft itself is the reason for violence is probably misconceived, misunderstood. There are always underlying causes for witchcraft, and this is the way of dealing with it, the way of talking about it, the way of addressing the problem. So in that sense, the idea of witchcraft itself is not bad. The problem is how to deal with conflict, and that is a perennial, always existing human problem.